What is going on, Arizona sports fan family? How are we doing out here today on this beautiful Saturday evening? Well, we're here to watch a divisional round. Well, we're not going to be watching a divisional round, but that is actually what's going on currently right now. And I just wanted to kind of recap, the 2021 season. Now, I'm not quite sure how long I'm going to be going here. Now, I understand that there's a lot of people, out and about. It's Saturday. Welcome everybody who's in this chat right now. Thank you so very much for being here. I appreciate it. You guys are the real MVP. I kind of want just to recap, not recap, but final thoughts of this game or the season so far of the 2021 season. Now, granted, we are on the off season right now. We're watching playoffs. The divisional round is going on this weekend, and I'm a little salty. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm a little salty, man. We ended up seeing the first divisional game, or I'm sorry. Yeah, the first divisional game. It's going to be the Titans or the first seeded Titans versus the fourth seeded Bengals. Now, congratulations to the Bengals. That organization is going places, man. We've seen that head coach really, really put his best foot forward, and it really does seem like Joe Burrow is going to be the real deal. He was amazing in LSU. And won a championship, national championship over there, and he ended up getting drafted by the Bengals. And now I'm starting to feel a little worse for the Arizona Cardinals, being that Joe Burrow was drafted 1 year after Kyler Murray. Now, Zach Taylor, I believe that's the head coach's name over there. He's been in that office for about 2 years. The first year there was some promising thoughts, and now they go into the playoffs, which a lot of people did not really see the Bengals beating the Tennessee Titans, the first seeded Tennessee Titans, but that's exactly what happened. Now, this is kind of gives me a little thoughts of, man, dang it. Freaking A. Why does this happen to the Arizona Cardinals all the time? Now, I honestly do think if the Arizona Cardinals stood a chance against the Rams and we didn't leave the season off with a bad taste in our mouth of getting absolutely obliterated, I don't think that there would be a lot of fans as upset as they are. Now, there's a lot of fans upset still. You would see a lot of people still hashtagging fire Kime, hashtag fire Cliff, restart over, get rid of Kyler. We're hearing it all right now. And I'm not blaming the fan base at all. We're seeing a team where instead of progressing, it seems like we're regressing every single end of the season. It happened towards the end of the first, year with Kyler and Cliff. The second year, we couldn't get a playoff spot, and we had two opportunities to go against two backup quarterbacks, and we just couldn't get the job done. This year, we couldn't win a big game to save our life, but because we did start off pretty hot, 7-0, the last 4 wins were just kind of a nice segue into getting into the playoffs. We're sitting at the fifth seed, and we're playing the 4th seed, Los Angeles Rams, and we all know exactly how that happened. I don't quite know exactly how I'm feeling right now as a Cardinal fan. I'm really not. I mean, I'm going to be a Cardinal fan, till I die. It's just, it sucks to see an organization flourish when you thought you were going to be that team that was supposed to take the next step this year and not regress again. But we've seen it again. We've seen it time and time again. Now, I'm not quite sure 100% how many of you guys are actually on Twitter, but I'm slowly starting to get into the groove of things. Now, it's a very, very nasty place. So if you guys don't want to go back and forth with people, honestly, people are super crazy on Twitter. If you don't want that, toxicity in your life, I completely understand where you're coming from. But there's some gems going on in Twitter that ended up happening 2 days ago. Now, I don't know if you guys know about this, but it was a tweet that we ended up getting from former writer I think it's a former writer, Kyle Odegaard. Now, before we get started on that tweet, and I want to make sure that you guys are fully aware of this, let me get to these super chats here real quick, and then we'll go ahead and speak about that tweet from Kyle Odegaard. Now, this was 2 days ago, granted, and we did get an update. I believe it was yesterday, so we'll talk about both tweets that he ended up releasing for the Arizona Cardinals to really kind of chop around and really kind of see how you guys feel. But let me give some shout outs here to my guy, I Am Bear, saying this Bengal game shows another reason why Arizona should fire Cliff. Bengals, no offensive line, but head coach and offensive coordinator figured it out. A way to win and call the game while on the line isn't. Thank you. Thank you, I Am Bear. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Thank you so very much. And I completely agree. Now, I know a lot of people are going to say, well, DeAndre Hopkins got hurt. DeAndre Hopkins got hurt. But that's one of the biggest problems. Why we have an offense solely dependent on one player is baffling to me. Especially because Cliff Kingsbury is supposed to be this offensive guru. It's absolutely baffling to me. Joe Burrow was under duress so many times this year. I'm sorry, not in this game. I apologize. In this game, he was sacked so many times, and he still got the job done. Because Zach Taylor and their offensive coordinator, or whoever he is, kudos to them, found a way to get the job done. 100%. Juliano, appreciate you, man. He says, jealous seeing the Bengals turn around so quick. I agree. I agree, brother. I completely agree. But let me get to these. Let me get to these here real quick. These are going to be Twitter. I know that if there's not a lot of people that like Twitter, this is a gem. I promise you guys. Now, this was released from Kyle Odegaard. If you guys are familiar with the writers, Darren Urban, I think there's another one. Paul Calvisi, I feel like he was a writer at one point. If not, he's really, really close. But Kyle Odegaard was a former writer of the Arizona Cardinals, and he released this gem for the Twitter world to get super, super crazy. Now, let me go ahead and read this to you, ladies and gentlemen. This is what he posted for everybody to get a little hope, hopefully a little hope at the end of the tunnel. He says, 2 days ago, now this was 2 days ago, he says, there was a tense meeting involving Cardinals owner Michael Bidwill, Steve Keim, and Coach Cliff Kingsbury yesterday, per source. Bidwill was unhappy with the late season slide and intimated changes were possible. And down here is a quote. He says, bleep hit the fan, sources say. And I completely apologize if I butcher that, but this is right here. This came out 2 days ago from Kyle Odegaard. Now, I honestly thought this was pretty funny because Ian Rappaport, which was, a big time NFL, insider, he ended up actually trying to debunk this saying. He tried to debunk this. He tried his best to debunk it. And his sources said that there was no meeting. That's it. No meeting. And of course, they got the Twitter world absolutely crazy. They were saying like, Ian Rappaport knows better than, Kyle Odegaard, blah, 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 blah. But there was a segment on Pat McAfee show, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys see that Pat McAfee actually, confronted Ian Rappaport. And Ian Rappaport actually said that there might have been something that happened. But the official meeting, the official end of the year meeting didn't happen. That's what he was trying to say. But this could have very well happened. Now, of course, Kyle Odegaard being the amazing guy that he is, he had an actual follow-up tweet that actually ended up happening 1 day ago. He said, #meetinggate, which is absolutely amazing. #meetinggate update. He said, Steve Keim met with Michael Bidwill alone this morning. Cliff Kingsbury was speaking with Bidwill as of a few minutes ago. The conversations today were not tense, per source. Now, of course, we're living in a world right now where we're kind of, source says this, source says that, and we can either listen to that or not listen to that. But I honestly do think that there is a lot of weight that's actually being put out here from Kyle Odegaard because grand scheme of things, they're all in one building. It's not like the 3 people are just in one building and there's no other people around. I honestly do think that there was an intense meeting and Michael Bidwill was absolutely pissed the way that the season ended. And as he should be absolutely pissed the way that the season ended. I still can't believe the way the Arizona Cardinals got kicked out of the playoffs. I still can't believe it. The Bengals really, really make me jealous of that organization right now. Now, I'm not saying I'm jumping ship because I know I can almost promise you people are already saying, well, go to another fan base, Mike. No. Been born and raised here in Phoenix, Arizona. I would never even think of that. But I'm not going to lie to you. The thought of possibly, that could have been us, possibly, is always going to linger in my mind. Cliff Kingsbury, it almost seems like he might be, let's give it this. I think 80% he will be returning as a head coach for the Arizona Cardinals. And the biggest reason as to why is probably the biggest reason that everybody gives in the Twitter world. That's their best comeback is we were a 5-win team, and then we were an 8-win team, and now we're an 11-win team. And that's probably the main reason why Cliff Kingsbury is going to stay. Now, me personally, if I were Michael Bidwill, what I would like to do and what I would like to see, I would like to see Kyler Murray with another head coach. And this would probably be the best opportunity to do so. Because we see what Cliff Kingsbury can do. We know he had a really good roster. Now, the roster was actually built for if you get injured, watch out, because we don't have the depth to really kind of help out to plug and play players. But Kyler Murray, I still have faith in. Kyler Murray didn't look good against the Rams. I 100% agree. There's been thoughts and talks about Kyler Murray's leadership. I mean, it's starting to poke his, poke the ugly head out, and it's actually starting to seem more apparent. But I do think if Cliff or if Kyler Murray gets maybe another head coach, another regime, another, no bull crap mentality type of head coach coming into this year, I think we'll have a different result. Kyler Murray is not used to losing. Kyler Murray doesn't like losing. And he's still very young. Now, is he taking the approach the right way? Probably not. But that is exactly why we need a leader of men. We need a leader of men to take this man under his wing and say, this is what we're going to do from here on out. This game didn't work, but this is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to figure it out. Instead of saying the same things over and over again, I got to look at the film, and it's still the end of the year, and we have not figured out why we couldn't get the offense going. It's baffling to me. It's absolutely baffling to me as a Cardinal fan. It's baffling to me that Cliff Kingsbury is living so high right now, living in this mansion, getting paid millions and millions of dollars of being a head coach, and we're sitting here on the couches. Because to me, I don't believe the culture is actually set in place. It almost seems like there's a lot of people within the Cardinal organization that is fighting for their own goal. They're not fighting for one, they're fighting for their own goal. Chandler Jones, he wants to get paid again. Almost kind of seems like Patrick Peterson. He didn't want to, put his body at risk because he's trying to get another payday. Vance Joseph, he's had some flashes. I like what he did. This was the third year of Vance Joseph, but in the grand scheme of things, I kind of want him to go to Miami. I'm not even going to lie to you. I kind of want him to. Christian Kirk, I'm not even going to get involved with Christian Kirk because he's not a number 2 wide receiver. Do I think he's a great number 3? I think he could be amazing as a number 3 wide receiver. But to me, we have so many questions now leaving this season. I think we have more questions leaving this season than we did last season. And here are my reasons why. We don't have a number 2 cornerback. Robert Alford, I don't think he's coming back. We don't have a number 2 wide receiver. And regardless of what you guys say, our offensive line was absolutely horrendous. The only actual real good player is probably Rodney Hudson. And I would say maybe if DJ Humphries, but our offensive line needs restructuring all around. Running back, who are we going to get in a running back? Are we bringing back Connor? Are we bringing back Chase? It's all up in the air. Tight end, is Max Williams going to be able to get that same energy coming back? Obviously, unfortunately, he had a really bad injury. Interior defensive lineman, why can't we get pressure? Edge rusher, what is going on there? We have so many questions leaving this season and into a third year regime. That shouldn't be the case. That shouldn't be the case. Big shout out to my guy here, S. Contreras. Thank you so very much for the $4.99 donation. He says, Cliff definitely needs to be on the hot seat. Don't think he'll be fired this offseason. Kyler needs to work on his leadership. We need a better receiving core too. Well, I agree. I've been talking about our receiving core, and I'm not going to try to be one of those guys that are like, oh, well, I said this, 2 years ago. But in actuality, when I wanted to go wide receiver, people were telling me, well, we have DeAndre Hopkins. Why would we go wide receiver? Because our wide receiving core was absolutely trash. Christian Kirk, Andy Isabella, Keyshawn Johnson, Akeem Butler, none of them are really working out. Shout out here to my guy, Hector. Appreciate you, man. He says, demote Cliff Kingsbury to OC. Hire a head coach that will hold coaches and players accountable. Fire Kime. Promote Wilson to GM. Thoughts? I love the idea of hiring Adrian Wilson as his GM. I love that. Now, Cliff Kingsbury, I don't think he will accept a demotion into a offensive coordinator role. Personally, I really don't think so. I mean, hey, if Michael Bidwill has and you know what I'm trying to say, to do it and it works, hey, cool. But I don't think that might be the case. I doubt that that's going to happen. Adrian Wilson as a GM would be massive. It will up this culture tremendously in this locker room, and it will hold people accountable from the top. And I'm not even sure if you guys saw this, but the Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu, I know there's a lot of people that don't like him anymore, but he ended up, snapping back at, basically talking really bad about Steve Keim. And I don't blame the guy. Final thoughts. And I promise you guys, this probably will be the end of the I hate Cliff, all this different stuff. I know you guys are getting tired of it. I am too. I just need an outlet. I need an outlet to voice my opinion and my concerns, because watching this divisional weekend, it hurts. It hurts that we're here in this position with more questions going into the third or leaving the third year of Cliff Kingsbury's experiment era. It hurts that Zach Taylor can get this done. Zach Taylor and Joe Burrow. And we can't figure out if there's a blitz coming, why can't you just throw a slant? Why can't you throw the ball down or up the middle? We need to start holding these players accountable, ladies and gentlemen. And I don't think it's going to happen with Cliff Kingsbury. Big shout out to my guy. I bought AZ Sports Girl. Appreciate you. Another $20 donation. Thank you so very much for that. Maybe Larry Fitzgerald as a GM. Honestly, I think Larry Fitzgerald does not want anything to do with this Cardinal organization. And it's sad to me to say that, but what a perfect opportunity for possibly Steve Keim to reach out to Larry Fitzgerald, because we were in dire need of wide receiver players going into the playoffs. Why didn't we? Why shouldn't? I honestly do think that Larry Fitzgerald doesn't want to touch this Cardinal organization with a 6-foot pole. There's something that happened that doesn't want to get out. There's something that happened with Bruce Arians and Steve Keim that doesn't want to get out. And for some darn reason, Michael Bidwill and Steve Keim are so buddy-buddy with each other that they're killing this franchise. We still might have hope. We still might have hope at the end of the tunnel. Maybe, hopefully, fingers crossed, with this tweet here from my guy Kyle Odegaard that posted 2 days ago, I had a little glimmer of hope. Maybe, could have, should have, maybe can, Michael Bidwill pull the trigger and do it? I don't know. I think it's too rich. I think it might be too rich for Michael Bidwill because we're an organization that's been here in Arizona, and I think we've been here for what, 30 plus years, 33, 36, something along those lines. It's been since 88. I don't want to do math. But we've hit the playoffs, ladies and gentlemen, 6 times. 6 times. And to Michael Bidwill being that, hey, we hit the playoffs, this is the goal that they checked off in their on their beginning of the 2021 season. Check mark. Let me give a big shout out to my guy. I am Bear. Appreciate the donation. Kirk should stay as a starting slot wide receiver. One of the best slot wide receivers in the NFL this year was, yeah, I agree. Hey, if you would take a friendly deal, I would be down. And I know you mentioned it before, or somebody mentioned it on my channel that he's willing to take the friendly deal. I'm down. I'm down. Number 2, that right there should get thrown away. Don't even think of him as a number 2 anymore. Throw that out the window. There's no doubt in my mind that I don't think AJ Green's coming back. He shouldn't come back. As of right now, this is my final thoughts. I'm going to try to be as positive as I possibly can, hitting this off season, talking about free agency pickups, who I want, who does the Arizona Cardinals end up getting. I don't think we're going to have very much to spend, to be honest with you, but we're still going to follow it. Draft, that should be pretty fun. I think we're sitting at the number 23rd, 24th overall. I think it's 24th if I'm not mistaken. Definitely somebody correct me in the chat if you know. But we'll follow the draft as well. We'll see who the Arizona Cardinals end up drafting. Hopefully not a punter in the first round. That would suck. But we'll see. We'll try to go with the positive mindset going into the 2022 season. But as of right now, ladies and gentlemen, that's all I kind of wanted to say. The Bengals stripped any sense of light, sense of maybe shoulda, coulda, woulda, with the Bengals going to the AFC Conference Championship after beating the number 1 seeded Titans. And the Arizona Cardinals, in 3 years in, get demolished, get embarrassed in the playoffs. And all our coach can say is, we needed this playoff experience. It's just not enough for me, ladies and gentlemen. It's just not enough for me. I appreciate everybody for coming through. Thank you so very much. I don't want to take a lot of your time. I know there's a very, very exciting, important game going on right now. So I wish you guys a very, very happy rest of your Saturday. Enjoy the rest of football. Thank you so very much. We will be doing live streams here and there. Make sure you have your post notification bell on, and don't forget to smack that like button. Thanks, as always, ladies and gentlemen. Have a great rest of your day. And like I said, go Cards.